Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. Good morning to all, and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 25th of November 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affair. So watch this video till last. But I am requesting you all the students that you have to download our application Careers Cloud from the description box link. After that, log in with the email ID, then click on this crack current affairs section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low. But how we are covering this current affair? We are providing you daily section. In the daily, you will see three things. One is detail, second is question and answer format, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. Next is the weekly section. Again, you will receive three things. One is detail, second is question and answer format, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on weekly basis. Most important section is the monthly, and we are providing four type of PDFs. One is detail, second is question and answer format, third is best 100 current affair, that is also provided in the form of question and answer, and fourth one is pocket PDF. It means 2-liners and the 3-liners current affair will be provided to you so that you can revise these current affairs in quick format before your exam. But to enhance your performance further, we are providing 20 most important topic wise PDF. It means if you want to cover one particular topic, then you can use this topic wise PDF. If you are a banking student, we are providing three things. One is detail, second is question and answer format, and third is the quiz section. But all these three things are only related to banking and economy. And you can attempt this quiz only on our application on monthly basis. If you want to cover all the past current affair of 2021 just from single PDF, then you can use this exam PDF. We are providing detailed budget and economic survey. Expected question and answer will be provided to you so that you can recall that examiner can make these type of questions from budget and economic survey. If you are appearing for your respective state exam, then we are also providing you state current affair, and we are covering every state and union territory. So all these things comes under only one subscription. You have to just download our application Careers Cloud from the description box link. After that, log in with the email ID, then click on this crack current affair section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low. But if you are a new student, you are just starting your preparation, then I am advising you to subscribe for 2 years. And we are providing 10% extra discount on both subscriptions if you use this code ASH10. And if you have any query, you can email us or you can call us on this number or email ID. So let's start today's current affair, that is 25th of November 2021. But first of all, you have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform, and join our Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the first question in the most important section. Which city topped in the first Sustainable Development Goal Urban Index and Dashboard 2021-22? So first of all, you have to remember this is the first Sustainable Development Goal Urban Index, and this belongs to 2021-22, and this index is basically released by Niti Aayog, National Institution for Transforming India, and this institution launched first Sustainable Development Goal Urban Index, and in this index, Shimla topped as a you can say Sustainable Development Goals Achievement City. So you can see here SDG Urban Index, another step towards localizing SDG further. And this is Niti Aayog under the Indo-German Cooperation releases inaugural, it means the first Sustainable Development Goal Urban Index and the Dashboard 2021-22. And you can also see here it is a SDG progress monitoring tool at the urban local bodies level, and total SDG goals are 17, but under this index they targeted across 15 SDGs, because 2 SDG goals are not considered under this index. One is SDG number 14, which is life below water, and second is SDG 17 number goal, which is partnership for the goals, and these are not included. Otherwise 15 goals are included to check the city's sustainable development goals achievement targets. And SDG Urban Index and Dashboard ranks 56 urban areas on 77 SDG indicators. Remember, total 15 goals are checked, and for each SDG the urban areas are ranked on a scale of 0 to 100. A score of 100 implies that the urban area has achieved the target set for 2030. You can say further, according to the number, these are divided into 4 categories. Like first is aspirant. If the score is between 0 to 49, then the city will be called as aspirant city. Next is performer. Performer, it means 50 to 64. If your score is 50 to 64, then you will called as performer. Then if the score is in between 65 to 99, then you are front runner. And achiever category, it means if your score is 100. So these are the 4 categories under this Sustainable Development Goal Urban Index. So you have to remember the city which is topped is Shimla, and you can also see here this index. Shimla is on the top. Shimla is in Himachal Pradesh, and total score is 75.50. Second rank basically goes to Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu, and its score is this 73.29. You don't have to remember the score. You have to just remember first, second, and the third city. Third is basically Chandigarh, and Chandigarh score is 72.36. But this is the lowest ranking. It means the, you can say, lowest ranking achieved by the cities, and lowest rank is basically achieved by Dhanbad. Dhanbad is in Jharkhand. So first of all, you have to remember the topmost city who topped in the urban Sustainable Development Goals Index, and second, you have to remember the lowest rank of the city is Dhanbad, which is situated in Jharkhand. So just remember this. Moving to next question. Basically only one question was in the most important section. Now we are moving to very important question section. You have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform, and join a Telegram group from the description box link. Here is who was topped the 2021 list of global systematically important banks. Very important. And you can also remember in November 2011, Financial Stability Board published an integrated set of policy measures to address the systematic and the moral hazard risk associated with systematically important financial institutions. It means these global banks, these institutions are very important for particular country or at the global level. So we are talking about global systematically important banks, and this is topped by JP Morgan Chase. So answer of this question is D. So JP Morgan Chase topped the 2021 list of global systematically important banks, and it has been also named as the world most systematically important bank for the third time. Again very important, because previously JP Morgan Chase had been named as the world most systematically bank in 2019 as well as in 2020. Now in 2021 again this JP Morgan Chase was awarded with the most systematically important bank. Total 30 banks are divided into 4 buckets in order to how systematic, international, interconnected and complex they are. And even this 2021 list of global systematically important banks was identified by the Financial Stability Board in consultation with the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, BCBS you can say, and national authorities. So these are the 3 you can say organizations who basically tag this global systematically important banks. One is Financial Stability Board, second is Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, and third one is national authorities. So just remember, these are very, very important things, and the most important bank here is JP Morgan Chase. Moving to next question. NPCI Bharat Bill Pay onboarded which company on ClickPay platform to facilitate automated electricity bill payments? So just remember the name of the organization. It is National Payment Corporation of India Bharat Bill Pay. So you can just remember NBBL, National Payment Corporation of India Bharat Bill Payment Limited. So just remember it is NBBL. Onboarded which company? So it is Tata Power. Answer of this question is D. So you can see here NPCI Bharat Bill Pay onboarded Tata Power as the first power company on the ClickPay. Now what will they do under this platform? So Tata Power will generate the ClickPay link and share it with the customers, who will redirect them to payment page comprising payment details. It means Tata Power will send you a ClickPay link and you have to click on that link, then you can directly go to the payment page and you can directly do the payment. So this is the feature which is started by this Tata Power with the help of this ClickPay system, and this ClickPay system belongs to NPCI Bharat Bill Pay Limited. So Tata Power is the first power company which will provide services on the NBBL ClickPay platform, National Payment Corporation of India Bharat Bill Pay Limited. So remember, this is a very important question, especially for the banking student. And you can also remember about NPCI here, National Payment Corporation of India. It was established in the year of 2008 and its head is Dilip Asbe. Dilip Asbe. And RuPay platform also belongs to National Payment Corporation of India. And you can also remember, if you want Tata Power CEO is Praveer Sinha, and its headquarters is in Mumbai. So just remember this question. Moving to next question. What is the name of world's first planetary defense mission which was launched by NASA? Again very important, National Aeronautics and Space Administration launched the world's first planetary defense mission, which is known as DART. And what is the meaning of DART? DART means Double Asteroid Redirection Test. So you can see here, this looks like a dart. So that's why this mission is basically known as DART. and it is a spacecraft, and it is the world's first planetary defense mission which is launched by NASA. And what is the meaning of DART? Double asteroid redirection test, and it is to intentionally smash a spacecraft into an asteroid Didymos at 15,000 miles per hour. So this is very important, and you can also remember that this NASA's DART will be the first ever space mission to demonstrate asteroid deflection by the use of kinetic impact technique to alter the orbit of an asteroid. In simple word, you can say the spacecraft will smash into the space rocket to change its direction. The spacecraft will smash into the space rock to change its direction. And asteroids with a diameter of 300-meter and larger could cause continent-wide destruction, while those have bigger than 1 kilometer would produce worldwide effect. And Didymos is the larger of the two objects that measure around 780 meter. So that's why we have to deflect the direction of this Didymos asteroid. So that's why this DART mission is launched. When the DART mission, or you can say when this DART spacecraft will smash this Didymos, then it will turn the direction of the Didymos, and it will not hit the you can say it will not hit the Earth atmosphere, and we can prevent all over world from this collision of Didymos. So just remember, this is DART mission which is started by NASA. And what is the meaning of DART? DART stands for Double Asteroid Redirection Test. Very important. And you can also remember about NASA here. NASA was established in 1958. Its headquarters is in Washington, D.C. and its administrator is Bill Nelson. He was recently appointed, and he is the 14th administrator of NASA, Bill Nelson. Next question is, Nirmala Sitharaman launched Tejaswini and Hausla schemes for which state or union territory? First of all, you have to remember this Tejaswini and the Hausla schemes are for girls between age 18 to 35 years to start their business, so that women empowerment in the entrepreneurship in the business can be expanded. And this is Jammu and Kashmir. This is for Jammu and Kashmir. So you can see here, basically there are two schemes. One is Tejaswini, second is Hausla, but both are basically providing financial assistance of rupees 5 lakh to the girls between 18 to 35 years so that they can start their business. It means financial assistance will be provided by the government, and so that they can start their business and become entrepreneur. And eligibility is just between age of 18 to 35. So the main objective is to promote entrepreneurship among the women. And there are two schemes more. One is Shikhar, second is Shikara. Shikhar basically the top, and Shikara means the boat. Schemes of Punjab National Bank were also launched. Shikhar scheme basically focuses on meeting credit requirements to up to rupees 2 crore for hotel, tour and tourism industry. And even in the Shikara scheme, basically they will provide 15 lakh rupees for the purchase and repair of their Shikaras or the boats, and it is provided in the Kashmir Valley. So both schemes are basically belongs to Punjab National Bank, and this Tejaswini and Hausla schemes belongs to Jammu and Kashmir Bank. So again, the main objective is to boost the employment in Jammu and Kashmir, especially in the women as well as in the you can say tourism industry. So you have to remember about Jammu and Kashmir. Lieutenant General or Lieutenant General is Manoj Kumar Sinha. And you can also remember very important national park is there, Kishtwad National Park. You can also remember Gulmarg Wildlife Sanctuary is there. Very important, Slim Ali National Park is also there. And Dachigam National Park is also there, Dachigam National Park. And don't confuse it with Hemis National Park. Hemis National Park is in Ladakh. Now it is in Ladakh. Moving to next question. Equita Small Finance Bank partnered with which bank to launch its new co-branded debit card? So it means Equita Small Finance Bank will utilize this bank reach in the credit card market and also to provide its customer a better banking ecosystem. And this bank is HDFC. So answer of this question is B. So you can see here, Equita Small Finance Bank ties up with the HDFC Bank to offer co-branded credit cards. So through this partnership, Equita Small Finance Bank will utilize the HDFC Bank reach in the credit card market and also to provide its customer a better banking ecosystem. And the credit card can be availed in two categories. One, you can say the Excite category, Excite credit card, which offer a credit limit of 25,000 to 2 lakh rupees. So this is the limit of the credit under this credit card. And second category is basically Elegance category, Elegance credit card you can say, which offers credit worth rupees you can say above than 2 lakh. So 25 to 2 lakh it is Excite, and Elegance means more than 2 lakh. And you can also remember about Equita Small Finance Bank, headquarters is in Chennai. Headquarter can be asked. And even you can also remember MD and CEO. It is Vasudevan Narasimhan. Vasudevan, you can just remember the first name, Vasudevan. And at HDFC, you all know Shashidhar Jagdishan is currently the MD and CEO. Moving to next question. Ministry of Civil Aviation signed a memorandum of understanding with whom for research to analyze the effect of regional connectivity scheme, or you can say UDAN scheme, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, which was started in the year of 2016. So, Ministry of Civil Aviation signed a MOU with Indian School of Business so that they can do the research and check the effect of the regional connectivity scheme. This is UDAN. This means Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, which was started in the 2016. So, the main objective to analyze the effect of regional connectivity scheme on the commercial air travel infrastructure in the country and in depth study from a data driven perspective, and it will be done by Indian School of Business. And under this agreement, this Indian School of Business will conduct in-depth analysis of regional connectivity scheme and prepare a case study that can be used in academic institutions and administrative training institutions for student of public policy. And even Make My Trip ties up with the Ministry of Civil Aviation to promote the regional air connectivity through UDAN scheme, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. And this Make My Trip will now power UDAN flights on the Air Seva portal, and the market them on its platform to promote its services. It means a different kind of you can say pop-up will be established under the Make My Trip website, so that anyone who is booking the flights, then they can also check the UDAN scheme flights, or very low cost airfare flights can be checked for the regional connectivity. And under the regional connectivity scheme, you have to remember UDAN 4.1. UDAN 4.1, the Civil Aviation Ministry has approved 78 new routes. So far, 766 routes have been sanctioned under the UDAN schemes. Total 766 routes have been sanctioned. Now 78 will be done under UDAN 4.1. And the Ministry of Civil Aviation basically comes under Jyotiraditya Scindia ji, recently become the Union Minister of this ministry, and he is currently the member of Rajya Sabha from Madhya Pradesh. And Minister of State is Vijay Kumar Singh. Vijay Kumar Singh, Minister of State. Next question is, India and which country relaunched trade policy forum after 4 years? It means earlier this trade forum meeting was done in 2017, but now it was happening in 2021, and this is United States of America. So answer of this question is B. So India and United States held its 12th ministerial meeting of the India-US Trade Policy Forum in New Delhi, and Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal ji represented Indian side. And the India and US Trade Policy Forum focuses on agriculture, investment, innovation and creativity, especially intellectual property rights, services, you can say tariff and the non-tariff barriers. And the last meeting of this trade policy forum was held in 2017. Now after 4 years, we again relaunched this trade forum between India and United States of America. It will definitely enhance the relationship between the two countries. So you can see here, India-US relaunched trade policy forum. This is the 12th India-USA trade policy forum meeting, which was held in New Delhi, and from Indian side it is represented by our Union Minister of Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal ji. Next is, which state and the World Bank signed a loan agreement for improving the educational quality in the state? So World Bank provided some amount of loan, so they tied up with the state government and even the union government, and answer of this question is Andhra Pradesh. Answer of this question is C. And total loan amount is $250 million. $250 million. So the government of India and government of Andhra Pradesh and even the World Bank signed a loan agreement of rupees $250 million for a project aimed at improving education quality of nearly 50 lakh students in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So you can see here, it is just to improve the 50 lakh students education quality across the Andhra Pradesh. So 40 lakh students like between 6 to 14 year of age in over 40,000 government schools. So the education will be provided. 10 lakh children between the age of 3 to 6 enrolled in the Anganwadis, that will also be focused. And 1,90,000 teachers along with more than 50,000 Anganwadis workers will be trained to adopt a new competency-based teaching learning approach. Like new technology can be used, digital boards can be used, recording of the lectures can be used. So these type of things will be provided under this loan agreement. So the main focus, you can say, the loan amount will be used for the Andhra Pradesh newly launched learning transformation project that targets to improve the standard of students as well as teachers by implementing a new pedagogy for schools and Anganwadis. So new technology can be used, even new practical things can be used so that students can understand very easily. So this loan is provided by World Bank. Just remember. And World Bank president, you all know, David R. Malpass. David R. Malpass, and he is 13th president of World Bank. Headquarters is in Washington DC. Director from India in the World Bank is Junaid Ahmed. Junaid Ahmed. And total member countries are 189. 189. Next is from picture. Atal Innovation Mission and Vigyan Prasar announced collaboration between the Atal Tinkering Labs with Engage with Science. So you have to just remember 2 or 3 things under this question. So it is to drive synergy. You can say it is to drive synergy between Atal Innovation Mission, Atal Tinkering Labs, and Engage with Science, an interactivity platform for the Vigyan Sagar. So Prasar, sorry, not Vigyan Sagar, it is Vigyan Prasar. So just remember there are 2 platforms. One is Atal Tinkering Lab. Second is Engage with Science, which is an interactivity platform of the Vigyan Prasar. So under this collaboration, this Engage with Science will onboard 9,200 plus Atal Tinkering Lab enabled schools and engage their students, teachers and principals in the perennial activities. It means in simple word you can say Engage with Science will use the Atal Tinkering Labs to you can say empower the students. And this collaboration will play a major role in receiving and updating our education practices to keep up with the technological advances. And I think all the students know that Atal Tinkering Lab is a workplace that allows young minds to work on their ideas and learn skills through hands-on do-it-yourself mode. And to motivate the participants, STEM content stands for science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Content consumption, certificates and incentives will be provided based on the points accumulated from the activities. And you can also remember this Engage with Science platform. It is of Vigyan Prasar platform and it is a part of India's Science OTT channel project. And at present, EWS activities are available in Hindi as well as in English. And Atal Innovation Mission, I think all the students know that it is a flagship initiative of the Niti Aayog and mission director is Dr. Chintan Vaishnav. Chintan Vaishnav. And Vigyan Prasar, again, it is an autonomous organization under the Department of Science and Technology under the Government of India. And director is Dr. Nakul Prasar. Dr. Nakul Prasar or Parashar, I think. And it was established in 1989. Moving to next question. Again, it is from picture, but it is not so much important. You have to just remember the keyword under this question. Union Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Prahlad Joshi, you can see here the picture of Prahlad Joshi ji, inaugurated e-portal and especially for the accreditation of scheme of the mineral exploration. So Union Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Prahlad Joshi basically inaugurated one e-portal for the scheme of minerals exploration. And it is the 5th National Conclave on Mines and Minerals which was held in New Delhi. You have to just remember the key place here because the first National Conclave on Mines and Minerals was happened in 2016 and its hosting place was Raipur in Chhattisgarh in 2016. But in 2021, this is the 5th National Conclave on Mines and Minerals. So this e-portal is launched and it will simplify the application process for mining blocks, exploration and enhance transparency during the auction through the portal. And even he handed over 52 mines blocks to 15 state governments representatives in the 5th National Conclave on Mines and Minerals at New Delhi. So just remember, Union Minister of Mines is Prahlad Joshi, constituency is Dharwad, Karnataka. Next, we are moving to the important questions. First of all, you have to like this video, share this video as much as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform and join our Telegram group from the description box link. India and which country signed MOU on reciprocal recognition of COVID vaccination certificate? So in very simple word, you can say that this country will recognize India certificates for the you can say vaccination, and our country will also recognize there's you can say COVID-19 vaccination certificate, and this country is Nepal. Answer of this question is D. So India and Nepal have signed a MOU for reciprocal recognition of COVID-19 vaccination certificate to ease the travel of fully vaccinated people of both India and Nepal. And the MOU is one of the COVID-19 related cooperation and coordination between India and Nepal. So just simple question, one liner point. Next is India and Indonesia held 37th edition of coordinated patrol exercise, or you can say it is corporate exercise. And this was also done recently in between India and Thailand. And it was held in International Maritime Boundary Line as a non-contact at sea level exercise amid COVID-19 pandemic. So it seeks bolster the maritime cooperation between the two navies across the Indo-Pacific. Just remember, India and Indonesia did this corporate exercise, and this is the 37th edition. Next is one-liner important point. Here is the first point. Goldman Sachs projected India GDP growth to increase to 9.8% in financial year 23. So this is Goldman Sachs prediction, but it is for financial year 23. Earlier they predicted for financial year 22, and they predicted 8.5%. 8.5% for financial year 22. Even GDP contracted in financial year 21 by 7.3%, whereas the Reserve Bank of India expected in financial year 22 that India will grow by 9.5%. It is according to RBI, Reserve Bank of India, and according to Economic Advisory Council, which is headed by Bibek Debroy, they are setting a target of financial year 22 by 5%, GDP 5%. So Economic Advisory Council, financial year 22 5%. According to RBI, it is 9.5%. According to Goldman Sachs, it is 8.5%. Next is 2021 Global Nutrition Report. India made no progress on anemia and childhood wasting. So according to this 2021 Global Nutrition Report, the state of global nutrition, India is making no progress for worsening, no progress or worsening to meet the targets of anemia and childhood wasting. The report also states that India is on course to meet 3 of the 13 global nutrition targets. One is childhood stunting, next is childhood overweight, and next is exclusive breastfeeding. Next is the report has also stated that no country in the world is on course to achieve the target for obesity. So just remember, this is Global Nutrition Report and total goals are 13. Next, Prime Minister Modi ji inaugurated first Global Innovation Summit of pharmaceutical sector. Not important. The main aim is to bring together key Indian and the international stakeholders to discuss and strategize priorities to foster an innovation ecosystem in the pharmaceutical industry in India. Next, Asian Development Bank funds $300 million to improve primary health care in India. So again, it is not so much important. Just remember, it is Asian Development Bank who provided $300 million loan to improve the primary health care in the urban area, especially due to COVID-19. And the project will benefit across 13 states, including 51 million people from slum areas. And remember, Asian Development Bank, it was established in 1966. Its headquarters is in Manila, Philippines, and total member countries are 68. And its currently head is Mast Sugu. Next, Competition Commission of India approves FedEx India to acquire a minority stake in one of the delivery company, which is known as Delhivery. And you have to remember, this Delhivery is India's largest business-to-business and customers-to-customer logistic courier service. And some minor, or you can say minority stake, is basically purchased by FedEx India. And remember, Competition Commission of India chairperson is Ashok Kumar Gupta, and Director General is Dr. Atul Verma. And it was established in 2003. Next, Tamil Nadu signs 59 MOU for projects worth rupees 35,208 crore. It will provide so much employment, especially these type of the projects like include aerospace, defense, and it will create job opportunities like 76,000 job opportunities can be created. And remember, Tamil Nadu governor is R.N. Ravi, who was earlier the governor of Nagaland, because Banwarilal Purohit, who was earlier the governor of Tamil Nadu, is now the governor of Punjab. And Chief Minister is M.K. Stalin. Next, we are moving to the question of the day. What was the question of 24th of November 2021? Question was very simple. What was the paid up capital of Reserve Bank of India when it is commenced operation as the India Central Bank on the 1st of April 1935? So the Reserve Bank of India was set up on the basis of recommendation of Hilton-Young Commission, and the Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934 provides the statutory basis of the functioning of the bank, which commenced operation on 1st of April 1935. And the Reserve Bank commenced operation on 1st of April as a private stakeholder bank with a paid up capital of rupees 5 crore, or in millions you can say it is 50 million rupees. Remember this. Moving to next question, it is the question of the day. Corp Kiran is a loan scheme of which bank? So very interesting question. So you have to answer me only in the comment box. I am waiting your answer. But please like this video. Please share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform, and join our Affairs Cloud channel. It will definitely boost your confidence in the general awareness section. And don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy. Thank you guys. Take care and bye bye.